The results of the provisional license exam are in, and you're going to be surprised to see who passed and who failed. And it looks like Deku and Bakugo are about to have an epic battle. Hello my friends, and welcome to another review of the My Hero Academia anime series. This episode right here was fantastic, wrapping up one arc and beginning a brand new one at the very end. This episode had a number of really fantastic moments, so let's just go ahead and break them down one by one. First part of the episode gives us the results of the provisional license exam, who passed and who failed, and believe it or not all of the students of Class 1A passed. Believe it or not, both Bakugo and Shoto Todoroki did not pass the exam. Along with them, Tornado Superhero and M. Bison lookalike Inasa Yoarashi didn't pass the exam either. These three seemingly incredibly powerful characters didn't pass. They failed really big, crucial parts of the exam, and while they're not going to have immediate access to those licenses, they are going to have the opportunity to make up for that. They're going to get to go through a 3-month course where they'll take an individual test, and they'll eventually pass. So eventually, they will be with their other fellow students. They have, as Shoto Todoroki says, some catching up to do. This part of the story wraps up as the other students return to their respective schools, and we even get some nice funny moments, like one between Shoto Todoroki and Inasa Yoarashi. There's still going to be an intense rivalry between these two characters. Even though Inasa did apologize to him for not working with him properly, he still kind of hates him, but now in a more playful rivalry kind of way. He's passionate, and of course he's very emotional, and he's also one of my favorite characters from the entire series. My favorite part about this scene, however, is when Deku actually confronts Inasa's teammate, the big hairy guy, about Camie and her ability to sneak around people. We actually get to learn that Camie actually already decided to leave, but this is when we get the big reveal. Apparently the Camie that we've seen throughout the entire provisional license exam was not actually Camie at all. She still seems to have the ability to transform into people, but it's revealed that her true form is none other than Himiko Toga. Yes, the very crazy creepy girl from the beginning of the camp training arc. The one who's completely obsessed with Deku. And now it completely makes sense why Camie was so incredibly creepy before. They officially confirmed that Toga's abilities allows her to ingest blood into her body, and when she has that, she can transform into anyone. And now they have Deku's blood, so something really bad is going to go down here. Toga returns with Deku's blood in tow to meet with her teammates with the League of Villains to prepare for their next malicious plan. We also get to follow up on what's actually going on for All For One. We actually get to see him in prison, this giant maximum security prison which is called Tartarus. And this guy is just locked up in the most ridiculous way possible. He's behind what might be the most thickest glass that I've ever seen in my entire life. He is bound in a straitjacket. He has guns which are constantly pointed at him. His freaking brain activity is constantly being monitored. If he even thinks about using his quirks or trying to escape, he's just going to get filled with bullets. This scene actually sees the return of All Might, who's hilariously wearing his old costume, which is completely baggy on his bony body. But he's talking to All For One because he wants to confirm everything about Shigaraki, and that his entire plan ultimately was to prep this guy in order to kill him in the most efficient and humiliating way possible. Basically, All Might is there just to tell him, look, your plans are not going to work out. We are going to stop you no matter what. We're going to find Shigaraki, and we're going to stop the League of Villains. All For One, on the other hand, is characteristically optimistic about the future of the villains, knowing that eventually they will continue to rise and maybe even go to war with one another. Basically, we're getting a lot of teasing for the future, and despite the fact that All For One is indeed locked up, I have a feeling that it's only a matter of time before he breaks out. First off, let me just say that I absolutely loved this scene. It's very reminiscent of some other scenes that I've seen in comic books and in movies. It's like watching Batman talk to the Joker, or Clarice Starling talking to Hannibal Lecter. I gotta give props to All Might for actually managing to confront All For One and do it with a lot of confidence. Wearing that costume, which actually made him look kind of goofy, it showed that he's not backing down for anything. But again, All For One is just so confident and doesn't break for a single moment. He just knows that it's only a matter of time before the villains rise again. Let's get to the brass tacks of this episode, the scene that's ultimately going to be building up one of the biggest confrontations from the entire series, a battle which has been boiling over since the beginning of the entire show. This is the moment where Katsuki Bakugo officially confronts Deku about his powers and demands to know where they came from. He has a pretty good idea, and he pretty much knows that he's using All Might's powers. The reason this scene is so dramatic and effective for me personally is because when Katsuki Bakugo realized that he failed the provisional license exam, that was sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back. That was the moment where he realized he had to confront Deku about this. The fact that someone as powerful and focused and polished as he is would actually fail at this exam and Deku would actually pass just absolutely eats away at him. Katsuki Bakugo's rage and hatred of everything that Deku stands for and everything he's done in the series has fueled him to this moment. And now Katsuki Bakugo wants a piece of Deku. He wants to fight him one-on-one, mano-a-mano, no hero outfits, in the place that they fought for the very first time. It is going to be epic. So what's the rundown on this episode of My Hero Academia? Camie was freaking Himiko Toga the whole time? What the fuck? No joke, that was probably one of my favorite moments from the entire episode. It makes me want to go back and watch the previous episodes to see if there were any subtle hints to the fact that Camie was indeed Toga, but it does make sense. She seemed to have the exact same personality, so yeah, every single time I rewatch those scenes, they're going to have a completely different meaning. The fact that she can transform into people makes her immediately dangerous, and I wonder how far that actually extends to. I'm not sure if they mentioned it or not. She can transform into people, but does that mean she can actually utilize their quirks? That alone, I think, is actually kind of interesting. But yeah, that was a really shocking moment right there. But really, it's all about that final scene this week of Katsuki Bakugo and Deku and the big confrontation between these two characters. It's about to go down, and I really cannot wait to see how all of that is going to happen. I really hope that this is going to be one of the standout action scenes of this season, and even if it's not, I'm still going to be satisfied, as I really do honestly believe that Season 3 of this series has been the strongest material that we've actually seen thus far, and every single week it has just been a vortex of awesomeness. This episode also did a fantastic job of just delivering some funny jokes. There was one scene in particular that had me bowling over with laughter. It was the scene where Deku and Katsuki decide to go on their walk and confront each other, and they show a lot of the different characters as they're actually falling asleep. Try to not laugh at Tenya Ida in the getup that he's actually wearing and the giant snot bubble that he's blowing out of his nose. I also loved how at the beginning of the episode Minoru Mineta was really excited over the fact that Shoto Todoroki and Katsuki actually failed at the test. To him, the hierarchy is officially changing in the class, and it is time for Minoru. This episode was shocking, exciting, and it also has a really great cliffhanger ending. The battle between Deku and Katsuki Bakugo is something that I am really looking forward to. It's going to be the round 2 of their battle, and I really hope that it's not going to get interrupted by anyone. I really want to see this battle through to the end. I want to see new moves from both of these characters, and I really hope that we're going to get to go into more of the core of Katsuki Bakugo and why he's such a troubled individual in the first place. There's still a lot about his character that we don't know, and I think there's a lot more to it than the fact that really he's just jealous of Deku and his powers. I think there's something more at play here, and I hope they do something really interesting with his character. I've said before that I don't want them to turn him into sort of like a Sasuke-type character from Naruto where he suddenly becomes the villain. I want them to do something more with Katsuki Bakugo here, to make him something a little more deep outside of just being a really loud and angry character. But really, I just can't wait to see what they're going to do with that battle. The fact that Deku is trained a lot more, but he doesn't seem to actually have his special costume on, which means he's going to have to really learn how to actually control his abilities during this battle. And considering how intense Katsuki Bakugo likes to fight, that means that this is actually going to end up probably being very dangerous. So, yeah, I loved this episode. I'm giving it a 5 out of 5. I'd love to hear all of your thoughts about the episode. If any of you guys watched it, tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. What did you think about some of the big revelations about who passed, who failed, the fact that Camie was actually Toga the entire time, and who's gonna win in the big epic battle between Deku and Katsuki Bakugo? Tell me all your thoughts in the comments section. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.